Everyone says opposites attract. Enid and Wednesday are the perfect example, right? The bright, cheerful werewolf and the dark, emotionless goth? Best friends who balance each other out. But here's what nobody's talking about. They're not opposites. They're mirrors, each one showing the other what they're missing. And psychologically, that's not attraction. That's healing. Let me explain. When Enid and Wednesday first meet, they seem like the worst possible match. Enid is bubbly, colorful, obsessed with social media and being liked. She decorates her side of the room with rainbows and unicorns. Wednesday is the exact opposite. Dark, sarcastic. She hates people, and their opinions don't matter to her. She wants Enid gone. She literally draws a line down the middle of the room. But here's the thing. They're not actually opposites. They're both struggling with the same core wound, the need to be accepted. Enid wants to be accepted by her family, by her pack, by her peers. She hasn't wolfed out yet, and that makes her a failure in werewolf culture. Her mom is disappointed. Her brothers mock her. She's not enough. So what does she do? She overcompensates. She becomes the people pleaser, the girl who's always smiling, always helpful, always trying to make everyone else happy. Because if she can't be a good werewolf, maybe she can be a good friend, a good daughter, a good person, and maybe that will be enough. But it's exhausting, because people-pleasing isn't love, it's survival. And Wednesday? She has the opposite problem. She doesn't care about being accepted, or at least that's what she tells herself. She's been rejected her whole life, called creepy, weird, dangerous. So she built walls. She decided if people are going to reject her anyway, she'll reject them first. She'll be cold, distant, untouchable. Because if you don't let anyone in, they can't hurt you. But that's not strength. That's protection. And deep down, Wednesday is just as lonely as Enid. She just won't admit it. So when they're forced to be roommates, they trigger each other. Enid sees Wednesday's coldness and thinks she's being rejected again. Wednesday sees Enid's cheerfulness and thinks it's fake, a mask. And they're both right. Enid is masking her pain with positivity. Wednesday is masking her loneliness with indifference. But neither of them realizes they're doing the same thing, just in different ways. Then something shifts. Enid keeps showing up. She doesn't give up on Wednesday, even when Wednesday pushes her away. She brings her coffee. She talks to her. She includes her. And slowly Wednesday starts to crack. Not because Enid forced her, but because Enid didn't leave. And for Wednesday, who spent her whole life being abandoned, that's everything. Because consistency is love. Showing up even when someone pushes you away, that's love. And Enid does that without even realizing it. But here's the beautiful part. Wednesday does the same for Enid. When Enid is bullied for not wolfing out, Wednesday doesn't tell her to smile and ignore it. She doesn't tell her to be positive. She tells her the truth, that her worth isn't defined by her wolf form, that she's enough as she is. And that's what Enid needed to hear her whole life. Not toxic positivity. Not be yourself and everything will be fine. But you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You're already whole. And that permission to stop performing, to stop pleasing, to stop shrinking herself, that's what starts Enid's real transformation. Now let's talk about their friendship psychologically. This is called complementary attachment. It's when two people have different coping mechanisms but the same core wound. Enid copes by seeking approval. Wednesday copes by rejecting connection. But they're both protecting themselves from the same fear, the fear of not being enough. And when they meet, they don't just balance each other, they challenge each other. Enid challenges Wednesday to be vulnerable, to let someone in, to admit she cares. Wednesday challenges Enid to stop performing, to stop living for other people's approval, to be authentically herself, even if that's messy. And that's not opposites attracting. That's two people teaching each other how to heal. Look at the finale. Enid finally wolfs out, not because her mom pressured her, not because the pack expected it, but because Wednesday was in danger, because love, not performance, unlocked her power. And that's the lesson. Enid spent her whole life trying to be a wolf to prove she was worthy, but she became a wolf when she stopped trying to prove anything. when she acted out of love instead of fear. And Wednesday, she finally admits she cares. She hugs Enid. She says, "You're my friend." For someone who spent her whole life refusing connection, that's massive. That's growth. That's healing. And it only happened because Enid showed her it was safe. Now here's why their friendship matters so much. Because society teaches us that opposites attract, that you need someone different to complete you. But that's toxic, because it implies you're incomplete, that you need another person to be whole. But Enid and Wednesday don't complete each other. They mirror each other. They show each other their blind spots. Wednesday shows Enid that she doesn't need to perform. Enid shows Wednesday that vulnerability isn't weakness, and together they become more themselves, not less. That's secure attachment. That's real friendship. And it's so rare to see on screen, especially between two girls, because female friendships are often portrayed as competitive, jealous, catty. But Enid and Wednesday never compete. They support, they challenge, they grow. And that's revolutionary. So here's the truth about Enid and Wednesday. They're not opposites who attract, they're mirrors who heal. They're two girls with the same wound learning how to be whole. Enid teaches Wednesday that connection is safe. Wednesday teaches Enid that authenticity is powerful. And together, they prove that the best relationships don't complete you. They free you to be more yourself than you ever were alone. That's not opposites attracting. That's love in its truest form.